Battery straps are judged on two factors, their comfort and their battery performance. Now, comfort is subjective, everyone has a different size head, so what might work for me might not work for you. What isn't subjective is the battery performance, and Kiwi just knocks it out the park. You see, they didn't rush out to release a product just for the Quest 3 launch like some companies have done. No, they actually put the time and effort to research and test a product that for the most part works exactly as intended with great performance, providing you with at least 2 hours of extra battery as well as charging your Quest 3 back up to 100%. They even made a decent charging dock to pair nicely with it, so now I have no excuse but to finish Assassin's Creed. Let's start off with a quick unboxing here. Kiwi are now officially licensed by Meta, which has drastically improved their box design. Inside the box you get a cable management clip, the head strap itself which comes in 2 parts, and a nice cleaning cloth for those lenses of yours. Kiwi have opted to go with a more traditional design head strap, providing a curved inbuilt battery at the back which isn't removable. It includes pass-through charging through the USB-C port on the top, and there's no power button, it is simply plug and play. Which did bother me at first because I was so used to using a Bobo M3 where you have to turn it on every time you use it. But then after using this for quite a while now, I realized that I don't really need to bother turning it on because I just want to charge it. That's the whole point of a battery strap to begin with. So in the end of the day, I didn't mind that there was no power button. At the top, you'll notice 4 LED dots which signify how much power is left on the headset. Now I have the SPC, the single point charging model, which has this magnetic charging point for the official dock, which I'll talk about later in this video. The design is simple but effective. It probably will fit in most cases designed for the Meta Elite strap with battery. However, it is a little bit thicker, so just be aware of that. It might still fit fine, but if you have some really tight cases, then just be wary. Now let's talk about comfort first. And when I first put this headset on, I did feel every little bit of that weight, but that is because I'm used to a Zyber Elite strap, which doesn't have a battery attachment. So I was used to more of a lighter strap. So that extra added weight was definitely noticeable. However, what I noticed after the second play session, it was absolutely fine. I got used to it and it's now my go-to head strap that I use on a daily basis. You see, the weight of the Quest 3 is very well balanced with the battery at the back. And although it's technically heavier than a non-battery strap, it's actually more comfortable to wear because of that counterweight. So I put this strap to the ultimate test by trying it in a fitness app. I tried it in Les Mills Body Combat as well as Supernatural. And at first I thought it'd be silly. I wanted to keep my Zyber Elite strap on the side just in case for these fitness workouts. I felt like the added weight will probably be too much. But to my surprise, it was actually really comfortable to work out in this strap. It generally does not affect the workout whatsoever, and it's also very stable on your face too, something that the Bobo M3 failed in testing. Now when I go back to something like the Zyber Elite strap, and I'm not meant to pick on the Zyber Elite strap, I think it's a fantastic strap if you don't need a battery, but as my comparison, I just got to compare here that I did start to feel the weight, the front heavy weight, because I was so used to that nice counterweight. I'm sure it's something that you can get used to. It is what it is when it comes to these straps. If you really want a battery strap and you think you need that extra playthrough session, then obviously having that counterweight is going to be nice. And this Kiwi strap is very comfortable. It's way more comfortable than the Bobo M3 in my opinion. However, if you don't need a battery strap, going for something like the Zyber Elite strap is totally fine. It's very nice and you do get used to that slightly front heavy weight, so you barely notice it after a few play sessions anyway. But once again, comfort is subjective, so please don't bash me in the comments if you think that the Bobo M3 is way more comfortable than this Kiwi hip design one and all that stuff. Like, everyone has different size heads. Alright, let's move on to the most important factor, and that is the performance of the battery. Now, if you recall from my previous video on the Bobo M3 strap, the batteries shipped weren't powerful enough for your Quest 3 and therefore couldn't actually charge the headset. Sure, they'll slow down the discharge of your headset and sure, you'll get a little bit of extra juice during it that way, but in the end of the day, that's not a very good optimized battery strap whatsoever. So this is where the Kiwi battery strap really shines. Whilst playing Assassin's Creed Nexus, my Quest battery was fully charged to 100%. It took a little over 2 hours of playtime before my Kiwi strap depleted, and when it did, my Quest 3 was still at 100%, providing me with a further 2.5 to 3 hours of playtime on the Quest 3's battery. Now, I'll be honest with you, I rarely play VR more than 2 hours. Maybe in a long walkabout session, maybe if I'm playing Demio, but to be honest, an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll have a break and such is normally the norm for me. So I don't really need that extra juice. However, throughout the day, especially on weekends, I do jump in and out of VR quite often. So it is nice to know that my Quest will stay charged and I don't need to charge it up every single time I'm done with a play session. Now, I tested the battery with a lower demanding game like Walkabout Mini Golf, and my battery was at around 70% on the actual Quest 3 whilst beginning this test, and after another 2 hours of playtime, the Quest was at 100% and my Kiwi battery still had some juice left. It's safe to say that this battery strap just works as intended, something that I couldn't say to the Bobo M3 strap, which obviously did not have the power to sustain the Quest 3's battery load, but the Kiwi strap 100% does. Now, when the battery strap is depleted, you can charge it using the USB-C port at the top of the strap. This is pass-through charging, so you can keep it plugged in and it will charge the Quest 3 first. Once that's up to 100%, then it will start charging the actual battery strap. Now, I did notice it does take a long time to charge both devices through this pass-through. On average, it takes around 2.5 hours to charge the Quest 3 alone. Once you factor in the strap and obviously the pass-through, I noticed, I didn't do a full-on test where I was going to sit there with a timer for 5 or 6 hours, but it did take around 5 or 6 hours, I would estimate, to charge both devices. So it's definitely something that you want to do overnight more than anything, but yeah, just keep that in mind. It does take a long time to charge. Now, there is one more problem that I noticed with the Kiwi design battery strap, and that is when I haven't used the Quest for a while. So for example, during the holiday break, I didn't use the Quest for a couple days over Christmas. And obviously I didn't have it plugged in either. I thought if the battery strap is on, it's going to keep the charge and such. But what I noticed is that after a couple of days, the battery is completely depleted. My Quest 3 still had battery, which is great, but the actual strap itself had nothing. So it slowly discharged out of inactive use. Now, I've not noticed that throughout just a days of use. I've not noticed that the battery strap has depleted. It only just has those 4 LEDs on, so I don't actually know an accurate indicator of exactly what that battery is on. But like I just said, after 2 days, it depleted on its own, which is a big problem for me. You'd think that a fully charged Quest 3 and a fully charged Kiwi design battery strap would last quite a while without you needing to recharge the device if you haven't used it for a while. But hey, look, I went back home for the holidays and I found my Game Boy Advance SP, and to my surprise, I pressed the turn on button and it still had a good amount of battery left, and I haven't touched that thing in years, so I guess they just don't make it how they used to. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the Kiwi design battery strap in terms of performance and comfort. Obviously, that discharging over a few days of inactive use might be a problem for some. Well, I guess that's why they've made the charging stand so you can keep it charged overnight with relative ease. The charging stand is far from perfect, but it does the job well at a fraction of the cost of Meta's official solution. You simply line up the magnetic charging point and you're pretty much good to go. Unfortunately, there's no controller charging. That obviously would have driven the cost of the charging stand up, so they just fit nicely on either side of the Quest. And yes, you can keep your knuckle straps on and it will still fit. The ones I'm rocking are from AMVR, and check here if you want to see the review that I did on those knuckle straps compared to the Meta official one. There's some cool RGB lighting that you can use to customize to your liking. I really wish that it would mimic the charging light on your Quest 3 so it'll be clear when it's ready to go, but I guess that would be too much of an ask from a third-party vendor. Now, as flimsy as the charging point looks like on this dock, it actually works really well and it's flexible enough to catch on many different angles. My only gripe with the charging stand, aside from the fact that it doesn't charge the controllers, is the fact that my Quest turns on via the sensor inside the headset every time I dock it because the plastic it rests on is too close to the sensor, thinking I'm wearing the device. So each time I put on the dock, I have to make sure I press the power button to send it to sleep. I didn't notice this at first, which resulted in a 15-hour plus playtime on Assassin's Creed Nexus when I only played 3 or 4 hours at the time because it was just on for the whole time, so just keep that in mind. So how much will this all set you back? Well, I did mention that the battery strap I have is the SPC, the single point charging model. That comes in at $80 USD, as well as the charging stand that also comes in at $80. If you buy them both together, I think you get a $10 off discount as well. So just keep that in mind if you were interested. Now, if you're not interested in the charging stand, you can get the battery strap without the SPC, and that's actually $20 left at $60. So you can save yourself a little bit right there. Now, all this is way cheaper than Meta's official solutions, albeit the Meta official dock, that does have the charging for the controllers, but both of them together will set you back around $260, okay? Where both of these will set you back $150. So it's up to you with the compromise. I think these straps are really good, and if you want to save a buck, I think you're going to really like this strap. And if you really want a charging stand, this is pretty solid too. So there you have it, the battery strap that works as intended and actually keeps your Quest charged. You've got a charging stand that is quite nice and does charge up the Quest 3 really easily, and it's perfect for at night, just throwing it on. You don't have to worry about it in the morning. You're good to go. So between these two, it's a winning combination for me, and I would highly recommend both these products, especially the battery strap. I was never one for battery straps. I prefer the lightness of like the Elite strap or the Zybra Elite strap, but I'm converted. I'm really converted. It's just nice to have a charge at all the times. So now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments below if you're thinking of picking this up, or if you've already got one, or if there's other battery straps out there or any other straps that you actually prefer and that I should take a look at as well. I do have a few more to review, so I will put some more battery straps up on the channel soon. But this is definitely way better than the Bobo M3 one that I had. And also, if you do want to pick this up, I do have affiliate link in my description, and if you buy it through there, you do help me with the channel as well. So definitely have a look at that. Like, subscribe, and do all that hoo-ha, and I'll catch you in the next video.